Do we actually have a truthful democracy? Published by Ashley Heacock in 2025. If there are hundreds of thousands of homeless people who don't vote, plus more hundreds of thousands who are in poverty and don't have time to go to the polls, do we actually have a truthful democracy? According to a U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development report, homelessness in the United States skyrocketed by 12% in 2023. Around 653,104 or more, who are discounted for, people are homeless. And the numbers have been growing by about 10% every year. 10% every year, that's a huge increase. So basically we're becoming a country of homeless people. So, this is a major crisis, right? And it also begs the question, do we have a truthful democracy? If there are hundreds of thousands of homeless people who don't vote, plus more hundreds of thousands who are in poverty and don't have time to go to the polls, do we have a truthful democracy? A UBS Global Wealth Report found that in 2023, the world's richest 1% of people in the world owned around 47.5% of all the wealth. So the 1% owned about 50%, half of the wealth. Meanwhile, adults with less than $10,000 make up nearly 40% of the world's population, that's almost half, and hold only less than 1% of the wealth. It's like a flip-flop. Do you see? That's like Satanism. When the world stops caring about those in poverty, then we have done a transition into a place we don't want to go. Okay? So all of this means that most people are most likely not voting. Those people who are in poverty, who are homeless, are not voting. And this might be part of the problem, and we could have a solution, right? Because those who are wealthy have the ability to take time off and go vote, while those who are in poverty may not be able to. They might not be able to tell their employee, hey, I need to go vote. They may not even know where the voting poll place is. There's a lot of factors there's a lot of variables we could put into these equations, right? So is there an equation missing in our democratic voting process? Is there an equation of all of these people not voting? Would that change all of our elections? That's a good question to ask, right? So what about the homeless? What about people in poverty? Are we deceiving ourselves by believing in having a democracy where the people vote for their representatives and they represent the people? But that's not happening, right? So in actuality, the people who are struggling the most are the ones who are actually voting or being represented the least. When we're a Christian country, the presidents put the hand on the Bible. Yes, we're a country that is for freedom of religion. However, the presidents put the hand on the Bible. And the founders were Christian, but also Native American. They communicated with the Iroquois tribes about creating a democracy of freedom. So yeah, those people, all the people who are struggling in the United States, there's tons of suicide in the South. That's why people are angry, voted for Trump. They lost their jobs, relative deprivation theory. The fathers used to have industrial jobs, and then now technology is taking over. There's a lot of variables we could add into there as well. So, US President Franklin Delano Roosevelt said, "The test of our progress is not whether we add more to the abundance of those who have much, it is whether we provide enough for those who have too little." So government is for those people who have too little, right? People could be traveling, representatives could be traveling and understanding, why are my people in poverty? Why are they homeless? What's the solution, right? So are we failing and falling as a country, as a democracy, as a Christian country, because our voting process is not working? What would a good solution be? So perhaps technology could help. I've heard of people waiting in line in Florida at the DMV for hours. Is our government's usage of technology outdated? Yes, of course. So could they partner with intelligent technologists or tech companies to figure out a better system? Probably. What are your ideas? Take a little pause. So I have many solutions for poverty on my website. They're just ideas, right? They're not. I'm just putting it out there in case it's helpful. So my website is awakeningconsciousness.community. So the solutions include an organic, sustainable community farm trail all across America where the homeless could live and find meaningful purpose. And we could stop factory farms and drastically cut down on pollution and cruelty to animals. So this could be, we come from Africa, right? You might not be educated. So for those of you, some of you might know we descended from Africa. And some people went up north and developed lighter skin. But we come from like Eastern Africa area, okay? So we come from tribalism, we come from community, we come from living together. But a lot of white people especially are like boxed into their little homes all alone, and it's leading to a lot of loneliness and a lot of suicide. So this solution, people could live together, they could farm, we could use new technologies, we could understand plants and animals better. The animals could provide manure for the crops rather than chemicals and pesticides and fertilizers and all of that, which is damaging our water supply. So it's all one, you see. So if we feed our cows antibiotics and hormones, then we end up dumb, because that would be poisoning ourselves. And if we put fertilizer and pesticides into the water and then we try to treat it, some of us may drink it. I'm living in Peru right now, in a developing country. I've lived in West Africa in a developing country. I worked on water issues and small women business issues and taught people languages and did all sorts of things there. So I'm familiar with developing countries. I'm also familiar with tribalism, where I lived in Mali without water and electricity among this beautiful community. I was happy. And we didn't even have a lot of resources, but we had each other, right? Meditate on that for a little bit, perhaps. So anybody could live on these farms. They could be varied. Some could be more, Puritan, let's say. And others could be more like fun, like people who want to do LSD and mushrooms and get high all day and have the hippie days back, right? The American dream. But others might want a place where they can, I don't know, just be in meditation, just be in silence with God. So these farms can all be different. So each person could find a different place to go. And like the grandparent community, they could live amongst children. They could have a much better life than being like sitting in a hospital bed all day, right? So these could be communities that are varied by ages as well. So and I have a plan that we start a fund where we give out money to people who want to start these farms. And so if you have an inspiration from your corazon, from your heart, then that's incredible. Then we should give you money to do it. And these farms are, let me tell you, what is the nutritional value we get from wheat and corn and soybeans, cash crops? About nothing. What if we created sustainable, diverse farms where you had every single thing you needed in a circle around you? You had vegetables, you have fruits, you have cows and pigs and chickens lay tons of eggs. Perhaps eat eggs that are healthy and happy, and the cows and the pigs might just roam around and just be lovely little pets for the children and everybody. You could have horses. It could be a beautiful community. And so this would cut down on fertilizers, chemicals, cow manure, factory farm, cruelty. Okay, so really that's for me, that would be a beautiful solution. Anybody could live on these farms, and it could help with the loneliness and suicide rates we see in the south and really everywhere, rising. And this could also help the crisis of homelessness in California. So I used to be homeless in California. I lived amongst the homeless in various places, and I learned from them what they really need. So the government, I did some research online. So by the way, I went to MIT, Harvard, and George Washington University, so I'm educated. So I did research on what the solution is from the government of California, and it was about building buildings for them. What they really want is nature. So put them on farms, then they'll have meaningful work, right? They'll be able to go out into the fields and plant, whatever crops we decide are going to be healthy and nutritious for the community. Okay. You can meditate on that. All right. So this could be initiated by an initiative where the army, a project for the army, people jailed for nonviolent acts. It's ridiculous that people are jailed for just having a tiny little gram of cannabis. It doesn't really make sense, right? There's a huge industrial complex around prisons. You can research it online if you like. Again, it's kind of a backwards country we're living in right now. So people from jail who are beautiful people, people from the army, and anybody else who is in need of work, who would like to start building these farmlands, could be called upon to initiate this noble effort. So this could also come from government funding. That would be incredible as well. And women could also be called to service. They could cook, they could clean, they could garden. So it would be like an actual community. So you can view this proposal and my presentation at bit.ly, that's bit.ly/organic community farm. bit.ly/organic community farm. Okay? So I also have a solution called the Compassion Network, where we would spread global wealth to entrepreneurial-minded and heart-inspired individuals who seek to solve our environmental and societal challenges. There are so many educated young people out there who probably have really cool, creative ideas for their community. But where do they have the funding? Our world should start a global fund for these people who have brilliant, beautiful, healthy, pure, innocent, loving, compassionate ideas, right? For the people and planet. And we give them the money, and then they start this initiative in their community. We could have something like a Slack channel where we share our successes and where we can learn from each other to do better. So this is all on my presentation as well at bit.ly/the Compassion Network. So these individuals would be given maybe like a monthly stipend for whatever they feel called to do in their local community to help people and planet. And there would also be a fund for people who would like to start sustainable farms. So this full proposal and presentation is at bit.ly/the Compassion Network. bit.ly/the Compassion Network. Okay. 1 second. So our entire socioeconomic system is in need of an update since the earth is dying and people are in poverty worldwide. Our American democracy is not working, and therefore it seems neither is the United Nations. Just like we face a crisis of homelessness and poverty in the US, there is a likelihood of children dying all over the world in the coming months. I'm not sure if you follow the news, if people know, but yeah, this is January 12th, 2025. I think I found this out maybe about, I don't know how, it was recent. So there's a likelihood of children dying all around the world in the coming months. Where's the American democracy? Where's the UN? How can we help? Why aren't they helping? So here's a quote from the article where this is from Al Jazeera, English. So the Palestinian territory, Sudan and South Sudan, as well as Mali and Haiti, have been identified as the top 5 places most likely to see deadly hunger levels in the coming months, according to a report by UN food agencies. A very high concern are also Nigeria, Chad, Yemen, Mozambique, Myanmar, Syria, and Lebanon. I also speak Arabic. I lived in Jordan for a while. So in all of those countries I mentioned, Mozambique, Sudan, conflict was either a key driver of hunger or a contributor. So there's a lot of things the UN could just fly in with a lot of support that to help these children, and I'm sure we could also put in a lot of variables here as well too, to help all of these countries with the crises happening. So, while the 1% drink their cocktails and think nothing's wrong, my life is great, I'm cool, people are becoming homeless, and children are starving. So why don't you try that at your cocktail next meeting, yeah? Okay, because this is a disturbing situation where our world has flip-flopped, we need to flip back. So Jesus Christ came to the world at a time when the Pharisees had flip-flopped from God to money. So now I'm here right now telling you that we flip-flopped again from Christianity, FDR, the quote he gave about helping those who are in need. Now we're just kind of sitting on our butts, waiting around for I'm not sure what. So, however, I mean, a promising idea and solution and initiative was done, I think, by Bill Gates and others, maybe a few others, to start giving all of their wealth away. Not all of their wealth, obviously. They're smart people, so if you have a smart company, then you should get more money. But what if you have a company that is turning into an artificial intelligence company, and so you don't need any workers, but you charge the same price as everybody else? Okay, now we're getting into economics. I have a bachelor's of arts in economics and an MBA in business school as well. I've taken many economics classes, so that should have gone through to some of you. So we need a new equation, right? So basically, our world has flip-flopped. We're not helping the needy. Gosh, I could tell you so many more stories. So we need more leadership that's heart-based, that's for the people who are hungry, the people who are starving. We need to help the planet. We need to help. Did you know that the butterflies are dying? I'm sorry to tell you that story right now. You can research it online. I think it's on The Guardian. So this is really disturbing. Some of us who are planting more flowers so that we have more bees, because if we don't have bees, then we die too. So we live in a circular world that is one. So if we live in a petroleum, cow-manured atmosphere, we might all die. Okay? The earth is dying. There's an article, again, you can research it online, about how the Amazon is now emitting more carbon than it's producing oxygen. So that's like the sign, you guys, if you're intelligent, that's the sign that the earth is now dying. Okay? So this is Satanism. You could go to the book of Revelations. Talks about Babylonia. That's America, okay? And it talks about locusts and pests. So because our democracy turned towards cow manure and petroleum, we could die. Or we could turn towards the bees, the butterflies, the flowers, sustainability, technological solutions, environmental solutions, because this is really important. This is really a turning point, okay, for leadership. If you feel inspired by your heart, then that's incredible. Let's stay in contact. My contact is ashleyheacock@gmail.com. So that's ASHLEYHEACOCK@gmail.com. And you can email me, and we can start a conversation if this all interests you. Okay, so in this article I wrote, so we were on while the 1% drink the cocktails, people are becoming homeless and children are starving. This is a disturbing situation. Right? Disturbing, ugly, evil, awful, synonyms for artificial intelligence to translate one day. So could this be because our democracy is not a truthful democracy, representing all of the people, those who have too little? Obviously, we don't have a truthful democracy because there's tons of people not voting. So we need brave leadership in this world. For me, my heart cries. Maybe take some time to just feel into your heart right now for a little bit. Okay, so you can view my solution in my new documentary, Our Circular Eco-Economy. So this is at bit.ly, again, bit.ly/ROUR Circular Eco-Economy Documentary. So bit.ly/R Circular Eco-Economy Documentary. Or you can read my writings on my website at awakeningconsciousness.community/healingtheworld. For more information on how we can create a more beautiful and healthy earth for all. So my website, awakeningconsciousness.community, it also has poetry from the heart. It has some articles on healing yourself. So I'm a shaman. So after I went to MIT and Harvard graduate school, I was awoken by God, and I started healing people with miraculous results. I also was at MIT working with the entrepreneurs there. I have a testimonial from the leader of MIT's entrepreneurial school giving me a really beautiful review. So I was healing people in the Cambridge community, but eventually I felt the call to move to Peru, to pursue plant medicines, learn more about my healing abilities. I'm a shaman, so I can also be here for you if you have emotional traumas, issues. I can also be here for you if you are a farmer, a tech person, somebody who wants to help with the farm initiative or the Compassion Network initiative. So again, my contact, my email is ashleyheacock@gmail.com. And I hope to hear from you soon. I hope this recording was valuable to you. I would love to hear your questions and your insights about what you learned.